I hope you guys are having a great day, great week, wherever you are and whatever day it is for you. As always, it is Friday on the podcast, so we're bringing that good Friday energy to you. And this is going to be a good episode. We got Cody Hoffheim with us on the show. For all you guys out there who are interested in flipping houses, doing wholesales, or doing spec home builds, this is the episode to listen to. He has a Joe Home Buyers franchise. He was associated with wholesalinginc.com. This guy has a ton of experience to go into, so I am super excited to jump into it. Cody, thanks for hopping on.
Dude, Gabe, what an honor. Thanks for having me. Let's make this fun for people.
All right, let's rock and roll. I told you before we got on here, we always like to start with stories. We like to hear how people got to where they are. I'm sure you got a good one. So why don't you take us to the beginning of your story in real estate and just tell us how you got here?
Yeah, dude, I love this because I think so many times people look at like someone like you, Gabe, or sometimes we get called out like, oh man, it was so easy for these guys. You guys, these were not overnight successes. I failed miserably. So let's take it back a little bit and I'll get as quick as I can. All the way to 2008, I was actually just working for my dad. I was a licensed general contractor. He's a licensed general contractor, working for him, building commercial buildings. 2009 is when Utah started feeling the crunch, where a lot of other states felt it in 2008. We started feeling it more like Q4 in 2009. So his biggest way of making money, like cut cold turkey, like Q4 of 2009. And so what I had to do at that moment was just sit there and look, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? My mom and dad were so kind. They wanted to keep paying me. And I'm like, Dad, you're not going to pay me. Like, there's no work. There's nothing I can do. Like,
I'm
so I
not
went
taking
and sold of
handouts
all
here.
things. I left. It was the hardest decision, by the way, Gabe. I went to him. I remember walking, pacing the house. And Wendy's like, I get it. Like, it's hard, but you've got to talk to him. So I went over to my mom and dad's and I'm like crying. I'm like, I hate that I'm going to have to leave the family business, but I can't do this to you, Dad. I end up getting sales jobs selling vinyl fencing of all things, just to like weather the storm. I end up going from that to meeting a business partner through at. He was a sales rep that was there, but this is like years down the road that we'd be business partners. To then from selling vinyl fencing, there's like 4 people specifically that they're like, dude, you sold me a fence that you said last 30 years. That means I'll never buy from you ever again. Why wouldn't you do something that's like more reoccurring?
No
Like,
MRR there.
yeah, I'm like, that makes sense. And I was young and naive. I'm like, reoccurring. I don't even know if that word means completely, but they're like, yeah, like insurance. And so these guys were all insurance agents. So in 2011, I started an insurance agency, grew that till 2017, sold that business because along the way, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. I was insuring a ton of investors. And I'd go to these local real estate investor associations and I started getting tossed around like, hey, this is your guy for fix and flips. And they're the worst policy to write. You write them, they're on the books for like, talk about non-reoccurring. You don't even get paid a lot and
6 months
non-reoccurring.
and it's gone.
Writing the worst policy ever. But then it would hopefully get me to like their rentals, their cars, their homes. So I'm sitting there 2015. I come home early from work. This is May of 2015. I can remember it like it was yesterday and it was over 10 years ago. My wife's crying at the table. It was one of the lulls in our pay period. And I come home, she's crying. I come home early. It's 2:00. She doesn't normally see me until 5 or 6. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, do we put food on the table with the leftover money in our account or do we pay for the mortgage? And I'm like, both? Like, can we do both? Like, not just one? 3 days later, because she didn't make me feel bad. I felt bad. I'm the provider. I'm at the same local real estate investor association club that I've been going to for 5 years. And this guy stands up. He's like, yeah, I just found this deal. I wholesaled it in 3 days and I made $35,000. I'm like, what? What is this?
Ding.
What is this witchery you're talking about that I've never heard of? So I go up to him afterwards. I'm like, hey, how do I learn this wholesaling? He says, Cody, dude, you're one of the most driven individuals. I can't teach you or you're going to be one of my biggest competitors. And I'm like, what? Like, I was thinking for sure he'd teach me. I insured all of his stuff. I believed him. I trust him. So anyways, fast forward, he wouldn't teach me. So I get online and I start just figuring out how to do it. And I reach out to like a coach out of Florida and I start doing it. 29 days later, I do my first wholesale deal. It pays me $24,000. And I was like, what? Not only did it worked for Cody Hoffine. Like this happened. And fast forward to like get caught up, like within 6 months, I had done like 500K. And then the first year I did like 1.1 million. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like this is crazy. The guy that I was working with at Best Vinyl, I called him like, dude, quit making Best Vinyl money. You got to try this. Like, this is insane. So he starts doing it. 2016, we become business partners. We grow what's called Utah Sell Now, is just our wholesaling business where we do fix and flips and wholesales. And then along the way, the coach that taught me how to get in the game, I buy half of his company and help him grow the business. He didn't like sales. So people would call and say, I want to be coach for you, but he wouldn't take their money. I'm like, bro, you got to learn how to close. This is crazy. So I buy half his company. We grow that to about 3,500 students over the next 4 years. We sold that in 2020. I wanted to do something that wasn't with the beginners. I wanted to help people that were like already making six figures, but really want to turn this into a business, because so many people get stuck at that six figure and they get burnt out. And some of them, even though they're making a lot of money, it's very much a prison that they created, because they're wearing all the hats. They're now losing time. They're not working 9 to 5. They're now working 9 to 9, and they just lose time. And so a lot of people give up, and I'm like, no, don't give up. This can be a real business when you grow your leadership, grow who you are. And that was our focus with Joe Homebuyer when we started that in 2020. Fast forward today, I still coach and mentor and consult people in the six-figure ranks to help them scale to 7 figures and beyond. And then Joe Homebuyer is also for those that are wholesaling fix and flip. They're at that 6 figures. They're thriving, but they're like, they don't know how to really turn this into a business. That's a great option for them. Is Joe Homebuyer is kind of like I hate business in a box. It sounds so stupid, but it's like, it comes with the systems, the processes that allow them to scale their business.
Nice, man. Wow. There's a lot to go into there. That is, I mean, it's a huge story.
I had to go as quick as I could.
Yeah, but it's good. We got a lot of paths to go down. I really like just one small thing that kind of jumped out at me. I liked how you found your business partner way before you actually became business partners, and that kind of stood out in my mind because I've had that happen in my own career where I realize you don't realize how your paths are going to connect with the people that you're interacting with every single day, which is why you gotta be building those relationships. And I don't know, that kind of stood out in my mind. But what I really want to talk about is wholesaling and flipping. So right now I'm on the commercial side. We do repositioning. When I first got started back in, what was this? It was like 2014. That's the first thing I tried to do, was build a wholesaling business, and it killed me. It crushed me. I got a couple deals done, but just the churn, and I just couldn't get out of that. Just the wholesaling is a different beast. I love what I'm doing.
It can be a complete grind and hustle that never ends.
Yeah.
It's never a season for most people. It's like they grind and hustle every day.
Yeah. So let's talk about how you actually turn that grind into a real business. Because I've seen guys, guys in my network, they're out there, they're doing $1 million a year in wholesales. And it's not something I'm going to do now, but back in the day, I wish that I had somebody to kind of teach me how to build those systems. You do it, you coach people. Take us through the steps. What do you do? Like, how do you turn wholesaling into a real business?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think so many times when I have these conversations, let's say with clients, they call me and they're like, hey, I need the next marketing channel. They're looking for like the silver bullet, which doesn't exist even in everyone's realm, even probably in your realm. It's like, there's no silver bullets. But for what most people do is they get into this grind and hustle. They make great money, but then they're getting burnt out. And then they start to hire. I learned through stupidity. Like, no one was really teaching scaling. They were just teaching how to wholesale. And so I was the guy looking now for the next mentor, because I'm the guy that R&D for me is not research and develop. It's rip off and duplicate. Like, find someone 5-10 years ahead of you and just freaking cut the check and get there quicker by just learning from them. And so no one was teaching it. So we make our hires. And I remember like our first hire, acquisition manager. And after like a month, I'm like, dude, this guy sucks. Like, this is going to be hard. And so we hired a next guy, and I'm like, man, this guy sucks too. Like, this is so hard. And here was the truth. I remember reading a book by John Maxwell. It was on leadership. And he basically just called me out in this book and calls everyone out in the book by saying, hey, whatever you like, all your hires, let's say you're hiring C-class level, you got to be willing to understand that C-class level is just a mere reflection of who you are as a leader. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, it's not their problem. It's my problem. I suck as a leader. And that's why, to me, they suck as an acquisition manager. It's me that has the problem. And so I had to look in the mirror and just eat the hard crow, right? And just be like, oh, it's me. So I started working on me. There was no magic bullet that could silver bullet that could fix my business. I had to fix me. If I wanted A-class talent, I have to become an A-class leader, because A-class talent's not working for C-class leaders. It's just period, the end. And so when I started that journey, in fact, Jim Rohn, he was a mentor of Tony Robbins. He said this is one of my favorite quotes. He says, "Rarely does a man's income exceed his level of personal development." And so as we look at, like, I want to grow $1 million business or a $2 million business, and then I'm like, okay, if I'm currently at 500,000, but I want to be at 2 million, then you have to ask the question, what does an operator look like that owns and runs a $2 million operation? And then that's that gap. It's like, okay, I'm here, they're there. And then what are the roadblocks? 2 or 3 roadblocks. Well, leadership was massive on there for me, as like, okay, I'm not a great leader. So that's one of them. 2 of them, I didn't know how to lead, like delegate. I mean, it was delegating for me was more like, what's the other word I'm trying to think of, where you just pass off and just say, get it done. Delegation is not that, right? And so I had to learn all these skills that I didn't have. But as I got better at these skills and improved who I was, I started to attract this better talent. And John Maxwell always says, he's like, don't show me your dreams, show me your teams, because you can accomplish any dream when you have the right team. But you can't get that team if you don't become that A player. And that's what I focused on for like 3 years. And all of a sudden the business was like unlocked and it started taking off.
Nice. So it sounds like improving your ability to hire, essentially to build a team, is really what did it for you. And for
Yeah.
you, the specific crux was learning how to delegate and learning the correct way to go about it. Let's go one level deeper into this. I mean, there's different. First of all, there's different people you can hire. You can hire remote. You can hire in house. You can do. There's a whole bunch of ways in order to build your team. Tell us how you did it, how you yourself build your team, and then with that one specific problem that you were running into, delegation, how did you go about solving that?
Yeah, when it came to team, what it looked like, I needed an acquisition manager, someone that could go out on the appointments, because that was something that we were buying the leads, we're getting the leads, but we weren't able to handle it. We weren't able to manage the lead flow that was coming in. So as we brought on acquisitions, that was something we wanted in-house, something that we could have sit side by side with us, listen to us on a call, then they do a call, listen to us do a call, go on a call, and then go on an appointment. They're going with us to be on that appointment. So we didn't want anything virtual, anyone working from home on something like that. But then you have other positions like a lead manager that definitely can work from home or work virtual, where they're just assisting the acquisition managers, where they're helping lead and guide them. They're following up all the lead flow that they can't follow up on, and holding them accountable to making sure that all their tasks are done each and every day. And then an executive assistant. In fact, a dear friend of mine that I think he wrote one of the greatest books. Where is it? Oh, you know what? I just did a podcast and it's sitting on my desk still. So Buy Back Your Time, Dan Martell.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic book. And he would tell you the first hire any business, I don't care what business you're in, is an executive assistant, because it's the least amount of money out to buy the most time back, so that you can work more on the business versus in the business. So I would say for us, executive assistant, acquisition, lead manager, those were the things I needed. One of them being I needed in-house, and that was my acquisition manager.
Did you hire your EA in-house, or is that somebody that works remote?
At the beginning, yes, to just get to know all the stuff and learn how I talk and what I need to do, because she runs everything. She runs all my emails. Like 50 emails come in a day. One of them may hit my actual bucket, the Cody Hoffine bucket. The rest, she's either responding as me, or she's saying, "Hey, I knew you'd probably want Cody to respond this quick, where he's busy today. So I took the honor of just doing this. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions." And she's responding as me. So these are the things that she does. Now, for that reason, she doesn't work at the office anymore. She does it completely remote from her home in the comfort of her PJs if she wants to be in them. But it started by just, hey, come in, get a feel of everything. Let's make sure we're on the same page. Let's make sure you're speaking the way I speak, should you have to respond as me in an email. And she does a phenomenal job. And so that doesn't need to be in-house. But I do love that it started in-house, because we were able to really figure out how to work with one another. And she was really able to learn really quickly what the dynamic looks like, feels like.
Nice. I love it. So we're running down the clock. We're at the 15-minute mark. So I will have to move us into the quick question round soon. Before we do, though, We talked a lot about wholesaling, about your journey up through using wholesaling. Let's talk a little bit about the flipping side. I know you do Joe Home Buyers, and you guys have a business that you're still running there. Um, I have a little bit of experience. I probably flipped like 4 or 5 houses, but that's
Okay.
about it. So tell us how you went about building that type of business, and what do you see as the opportunity today?
Yeah, stay out of the way and don't do it. Like, we still have some of our Joe Homebuyer franchises. Like, we're calling them like, "Hey, how's the business going?" And they're like, "Hold on, I'm just installing a thermostat." I'm like, "Why are you installing a thermostat? What are you doing? That's like $10 an hour help. What are you doing right now?" And so,
That I actually, the first house that I flipped, I pretty much did all the work myself, and I vividly remember walking through it because we had to hire a contractor to do the electrician, and
yeah,
he was walking through and he was looking at the tile work, and he's like, "Who did you hire to do this tile work? You should fire them. They're horrible." And it was me, and I was just like, "Well,
you're like, "Yeah, I
that's
know they
my
suck,
sign. I
don't they?"
shouldn't be doing this."
Yeah, I think it's get out of the way. So don't, like, if you're worried about it, because there's those emotions get into play in everyone's business, and emotions can hold us back or set us free. But the emotions that are negative, people are like, "Oh man, I gotta touch everything, I gotta be the one doing all this because I want to make sure it's done right." And it's like, yeah, but now you're turned a 30-day flip into a 6-month flip, and now all the cost of the extra money that you borrowed and all that stuff, it just doesn't add up, and they end up losing. So for us, it's, if you're going to get into the game, if there's someone's beginning listening to this, I tell you, don't do a fix and flip that's more than 5 grand. Like, paint and maybe a couple rooms of carpet. Let that be your first one, and then put it on the market and sell it. But then ultimately, you got to get to the point where you have a contractor that you can just manage him, but the contractor is really managing the whole entire job. And that does not have to be an in-house hire. We have a guy that does all of our work, that is a licensed general contractor, and he knows, here's the keys. He knows the paint color, the cabinets, the carpet. He knows everything. So there's no questions. He doesn't have to call me every time saying, "Hey, we're in this house. What kind of wood do you want in here?" And it's like, no, like, there's like a full on system on that. He just follows it. And 30 days, 60 days later, he comes back with an envelope on how much we owe him and the keys back to the house. That's as quick as it happens. Now, it doesn't happen that way instantly, but fix and flips, they're still fantastic. I still think that's the way where you can make a lot of margin right now with interest rates where they're at. Sometimes it's hard to get big, juicy wholesale deals like we did during 2015 to 2020, but you can still find great deals that are fix and flips, and you can still find a lot of deals out there. I mean, I'll put it this way. A lot of deals out there still need a fix and flipper doing it. They're in bad shape. Every home is always there's always gonna be a city that has foreclosures, ones that have meth in them, ones that have people that are homeless living in them that you got to kick out. Like, this stuff exists in every single city. And so rehabbers are still needed today because there's still not enough living. There's still not enough homes for those that are looking for homes right now in America. We're so far behind right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that is the crux of getting flipping like down as a business, is finding a good GC. I ended up finding a good GC at the very end, and when I started the transition in the commercial. And had I had him at the beginning, I probably would have stuck down that path a little bit longer. But finding a good guy that you can trust and does a good job, and you can trust his quote, is a lot harder than it seems. I went through probably 4 or 5 GCs until I finally found somebody that I could trust, and like, actually did a good job, and I wouldn't steal anything.
Yeah, I spit that out real quick due to time, but yes, I don't want to make it sound easy. There is an art to it. You do got to find the right people, and sometimes you're going to go through 2, 3, 4, 5 people before you find that great contractor.
Yep. All right. With that, I'm going to push us into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Starts with education. It could be any form, could be a book you've read, movie you've seen, conference you've been to, mentorship program you've been a part of. But I need 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate.
Ooh, one for what? Say, what was the first one? One for
general life wisdom.
General life wisdom. Okay, so general life wisdom. Ooh, you're asking. The Wealth Money Can't Buy. Robin Sharma happens to be one of my favorite human beings. I got to hang out with him for 4 days in Barcelona, and that book is still one of my favorites. The real estate one, I use it for sales. It's not really specifically just for real estate, but I'd say everyone needs a good sales help. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Phenomenal book that helps you in negotiations no matter what business you're in, especially for real estate.
Yeah, that book, Never Split the Difference, I read that a while ago, but when I read it, it is super useful, especially for real estate, because you're doing the negotiating. And yeah, that's a really good recommendation. Surprisingly, not a lot of people recommend it, but I do love that book.
Oh, one of my favorites.
All right. Next question is for your younger self. Let's go back to the Cody who was just realizing that he had to leave his dad's business. Go back to him, look him in the eye, give him one piece of advice moving forward.
One piece of advice is spend more time working on you and developing you. Make you the number one investment, not real estate, not crypto, not stock. But if you're making 20 bucks an hour, 30 bucks an hour, increase your skill set through learning so that the market pays you more because you're now more valuable to the marketplace. Now you have more money to then invest into the real estate or to the crypto or to the stock markets. But your first investment are none of those things. It's you and only you so that you become more valuable to the marketplace.
Nice. I like that. I would add pick a path. You said crypto, and that kind of dagger in my heart. I made money in crypto, but I lost so much money in
Oh,
crypto. And
bro,
so
we
stick
all have
with
lost so much money. You are not alone on anything you just said.
stick with the thing you know. That's
Stick with the thing you know. I make more money by myself than ever investing. In fact, if you want to win, just do the opposite of what I invest in.
Yeah, there you go. Crypto is a fickle beast, that's for sure. All right, next question is about the US. It's a big place. There is a lot of opportunity out there. Give me the single metro you're most excited about investing in today.
Ooh, I still love, like right now, I'm in St. George. I love St. George. There is this little bubble right now that is not a little bubble, it's a great bubble. But our fix and flips, for example, let me tell you, are not fix and flips, our luxury spec, about 3 doors up from me is the spec we're doing. We'll be into it about 2.3 million, and we're going to be listing it at 3.5, and we were able to do it in 8 months. And I am super pumped about this
Wow,
market. It's been
with
great.
like permits and everything is 8 months?
Permits, everything, 8 months. And the guy down the street built his for 6. It's a lot bigger. It's like 14,500 square feet. Did it for 6 million and just got 2 offers at 11 million. The
Wow.
margins in certain markets. I don't recommend specs in every market. Please know what he just said. He says what regions, what markets. There's a unique little thing going on here in St. George, Utah that is really, really hot right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, you guys are near Vale, aren't you? Isn't that or
Did you
no,
say Veo?
Vale. Not Vale, but you're
Vale
near
is
one of the
up in Colorado, right?
yeah, you're
Yeah,
near
no. So
I
this
thought
is
St.
like
George was near
I'm an
something
hour and a
like that.
half from Las Vegas. I'm closer to Las Vegas than I am Salt Lake.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Wow.
bottom corner of Utah.
Yeah, but that the price per the average house value in St. George is really high. What's the reason there? It's just a
Very,
nice area.
very high. Like it just keeps going up. So I would say you're over 750 average here.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, 8 months with is that's from breaking ground to like ground up, and so that
Ground
is
up,
nuts.
we're pretty quick at it. We're really good at running subs. It's been kind of, and I don't recommend people doing it if they don't know how to run subs and they don't know. General construction has been my sweetheart. Like it's been my deal. It's been my thing since I was a little kid. My dad had me on the job site.
Yeah, you got a good background there. All right, moving us on to the next question. This is about finding deals. It all starts with getting in contact with the seller and penning that purchase agreement. So, what is your favorite way to generate leads and find new deals?
Ooh, best way to generate deals for me still is PPC. I love pay per click. I will pay it every single day when someone says, "Hey, we there's still some more margin here. We could spend more." I'm like, "Do it! Smash that button." PPC are my hottest leads. Not only are they my hottest leads, they're the fastest from the time I get it to the closing when it actually funds and money's in my bank account. They're the fastest, the hottest leads. The slowest is cold calling. The slowest is like any kind of outreach that you're doing are going to be your slowest past 90 days. But anything that's inbound is my favorite marketing. So even mail is still working, and that's still considered inbound. But PPC, if you're not in digital marketing, at least in my world, you're missing out on 80% of the game.
Yeah. Google Ads crush it for single family. I will
Yep.
put a caveat on that. I know a lot of you guys out there listening. You're like me, you're on the commercial side. PPC does not work for commercial, so do not try it on commercial.
Is
But
your rule like just play with get with agents?
no, well, we do a lot of cold outreach. So we do cold
Okay.
calls, we do mailers. Those
Okay.
work really well. But nobody clicks on an ad when when they're selling their self storage facility or anything like that. I wish they did. That would be nice.
Wouldn't
That
that
would
be
be
nice?
nice. I did. I tried to dump a bit of money into PPC, but I got crickets. So I'm not trying that again. But for single family, man, that is where
It's
it's at.
it's a
Especially
gem.
because it's a it's a spigot. You just turn it on, things start coming, and you turn it off when you're ready. Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
All right, next question is about lessons learned. Not every deal we get into goes the way we expect it. In fact, pretty much every time something goes wrong, and that's when we get to learn a lesson. So, what was a deal that went a little bit sideways for you? And then what was the lesson you pulled from it?
Oh, you've already nailed it on the head when you're like, stay your lane. We got cute and thought we'd buy 15 acres in North Carolina. We're like, oh my gosh, this one across the street is being developed, and they bought it for this, and we got it even less than them. Like, this is going to be a banger. This is going to make us so much money, guys. Fast forward. I'm not excited to say this. 22 months, we still own land, and we have not done anything. We did not stay our lane. We don't know development. We don't know how to even do any of that. We've never done that. So we didn't stay our lane. And so we're going to be probably, I mean, it won't be crazy. Some people take it in perspective. We're probably going to lose $250,000 on this. To me, I'm like, this sucks. It hurts. Maybe some people are like, oh, you're an idiot. You lost $250,000. All in all, it's not that bad, but it's enough for me to be like, yeah, that stung. That was just one of those dumb things. Ego gets in the way sometimes, saying, oh my gosh, if they can do it, we can do it. And that's not true. Stay your lane. We're going to be $250,000 in the hole on this deal. Where if we just stayed our lane, we wouldn't have had this big loss on our books.
Yeah, and that is a lesson that I've learned myself is when, that's the thing about real estate is there's so many ways to do it, and there's so many asset classes to get excited about.
Squirrel.
And so you always want to go out and do something else. But every single model, every single strategy, every single asset class, they all have a knowledge base that you need to understand in order to be good at it. And so once you get a knowledge base around a certain thing, mobile home parks, RV parks, I understand those. I know how to underwrite them. I know how to buy them. But if I go over to, flipping houses, or if I go into industrial, whatever it is, I'm not going to have that backing, and I'm going to make mistakes, and you just don't want to do that. So stick to your lane, and and ignore all those shiny objects that'll definitely come at you.
Yep. I echo you.
And that leads us to the opposite of that is your highlight reel. Sometimes things just go right, and those deals stick out in our mind as our favorite. So what is that deal for you?
Oof, that deal for me, it still goes back to that first deal, right? When I was in the dumps and I was like, man, I'm failing as a dad. I'm failing as a provider. So I know it's in the grand scheme of things, 24,000 doesn't change anyone's life. It doesn't retire you. It doesn't make you wealthy. But I'll tell you what it did. It gave me confidence, and it gave me courage to move forward. And so that first deal was special. It was special because it was a time when I absolutely needed it. I hated seeing my wife crying, wondering how we're going to pay the bills. And so that deal meant everything. And it gave me the courage and confidence saying, I can do this. I got this. And I don't think I had it before that deal happened. And that deal was a game changer, not because of the number, but because of what it gave me.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why anybody who wants to get into real estate, I really suggest that you get a mentor or some type of somebody who's done it before, so you can learn from them. Because if you see success on your first deal, I remember my first, me and my partner, we made $80,000, most I'd ever seen in my life, and that made me realize that real estate worked. Had we lost money on that first deal, I probably wouldn't be doing this today. It would be a completely different story.
That's right.
You can fix that by learning from people who've done before. We got lucky because we bought in 2015, and it was already hockey stick. Seattle was going crazy, so we did get lucky, but not everybody will. You can ensure your luck by doing it alongside somebody who has done it before and knows what they're doing. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox there, but that's
dude,
that's definitely something I like to mention.
You nailed it. You're the average of the 5 closest individuals you spend the most time with. And that runs true with doing the deal. There's you're going to pay the price regardless. Learn on your own. You're going to pay the price, or just cut the check and pay the price right now and learn the correct way to do it right now, right from the beginning.
There you go. All right. That leads us to the second to last question. This is a new question that we've been asking. It's about AI. AI is here to stay, and I like to use it in as many places as I can responsibly do so. So how are you using AI in your business?
We love it for sales training. We absolutely love it. There is an app. I wish I could tell you the exact name of it because it's integrated into our Joe Homebuyer. So I got to think of who the back end is. Anyways, what it is, it allows us to call an AI bot, and the point is keep this bot on as long as humanly possible. And it's just thrown, it has no emotion. So it's like, yeah, but I didn't call you. So why are you even talking to me? And then you've got to be someone that can convert this AI bot. Like, that's a great question. You had filled out a form last week, and we're just reaching out to see how we can be of service to you. Okay, well, I don't know if I really want to sell today. So why should I be on this phone call today? That's a great question. I don't know why we'd be on this phone call if it doesn't make sense. Like, you're just trying to do everything you can to just overcome objection. And this AI system is helping our acquisition managers probably faster than any other trainings we've ever done in the last 10 years of wholesaling. They're learning in a fraction of a time because they're, whenever they want, they can do it to an AI bot. Because the speed to learning, sometimes we don't want to learn because I'm like, well, I'm going to sound like an idiot in front of Gabe. Hey, let's do a little training. We're going to do live training, like a little scenario. I'm like, oh, I hate doing this because I'm going to sound like an idiot in front of Gabe. But if I could do it with an AI bot and Gabe's not listening, oh man, now I don't feel like I'm an idiot when I sound like an idiot because no one else is listening but this AI bot.
Wow, that's cool. I have, you're the first person that I've heard to use it. You know, I always
Game
hear about
changing.
AI, you know, people use it as a receptionist, whatever, but you're using it as a training partner.
And it's unreal.
Yeah,
And people are willing to do it because you're not getting listened to by people better than you. So you're not fearful. You're not afraid. And so they're actually learning quicker because they don't have any of those bad emotions that hold them back from like just learning.
that's cool. And the back end, is it like Vappy or what's the, do you remember?
I'm going to have to get with you on this because I don't want to leave you hanging on that. Maybe we can put it in the show notes for later, but I will get the answer and get it to you. It's been game changer. We love
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
for that reason. I mean, you
yeah, that's
obviously got like
really,
the chat GPTs and all that stuff, but this is like game changer.
yeah, that's really unique. Cool. Well, that leads us to the very last question. This is for the listeners. You've given us a lot to think about. I'm sure people want to reach out, get in contact with you. Is it a two-parter? Where can they find you? And then what can they expect when they reach out?
Yeah, when you reach out to me, go to codyhoffine.com. Learn a little bit about what I do. Yes, I coach and consult in all of real estate space. I help people scale and get past their blocks. It's not the golden like marketing channel or what's the system, the process. I help you with your identity of growing into someone that can lead and guide a 7-figure business. And then what you can expect is you can expect a process where you'll follow the prompts on the website, but ultimately you get on a phone call with me and see if it's the right fit. So that's something I'm always looking for and looking grateful for. It's my jam. It's something that excites me. I don't feel like I wake up and feel like, I'm going to work. I wake up with excitement every day. I feel like I'm living my dream life by just helping individuals accomplish the goals. So
Nice. I love it. I'll put that link in the show notes. So if y'all want to reach out, all you got to do is click the little more in the description. It's going to pull down that full description, and in there you can find Cody's links. All right, man. Well, that wraps it up. Thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Gabe, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. For everybody who's with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to me, Gabe, at therealestateinvestingclub.com. If you guys want to support the show, just leave us a review, comment, anything like that. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.